I've had great opportunities in my life, and I've been guided by great people and mentored by great people that have offered me opportunities. And oftentimes when I wanted to thank them, just to say, thank you, I want to buy you a present, whatever, they've often said, no, we don't want you to thank us in anyhow. The only thing that we want you to do is to pay it forward. Now I'm thinking, all the time when I'm in Alex, there's a lot of people that are unemployed that I know. That some of them have sort of lost hope. They don't have employment. They don't have jobs. Do I become that guy that drives in with a GTI in Alex and becomes the talk of the township alone? And I'm the only guy. And I'm going to be pleased by the fact that I get the praises and people talk about me alone. Nah. And they said I should pay it forward. So how about that I start a business or something that can reignite hope in our community? When you talk to these guys, you realize that it's not because they're lazy. It's not because of they don't want to. It's not because of they chose crime. It's because some of them, a lot of them, they didn't get the opportunities that we've gotten. So am I going to stand from a point of privilege and criticize? Or am I going to take the opportunities and the access that I've got and build together with my people? With that being said, I used to buy a lot of sneakers in my travels back at the time. And I buy a lot of limited edition sneakers in Dubai, And when I come back home, even when we at like Rosebank or something, the guys at Sports Scene, whatever, they'll say, hey, those are nice kicks. We've never seen them before. Where did you get them? Because we know they're not in South Africa, Then I realized that there's actually a gap. And towards end of 2015, I had such a valuable collection of sneakers, limited edition. And there's a saying that says, if you're buying too much of something, then why not own it? Because you're spending money on something often. You might as well own that thing or own the value chain or contribute to the value chain in terms of ownership. So I'm like, no, man, why am I buying so many sneakers? I might actually start a sneaker brand that is my own, that I can own, that I can also help pay it forward to the community. I took all my savings. I worked for 5 years. So another important note that I want to drop is that when I worked at Dubai and I was earning 4 times what I was earning, tax-free, I never changed my lifestyle. I drove the same car. I lived the same life. I still came back and bought the quota, go 1, go 10. Never changed anything, never. To a point people are asking, this guy, does he work in Dubai? Well. Oh, he's sharing us, this guy, Because I had the same car, nothing changed in my life. Nothing. I saved up. I saved up from the subsistence allowance to my salary, everything. Then 5 years later, I took the savings. I used them as seed capital and started the business. Bathu. With a vision to build a shoe brand that Africans can proudly affiliate with, to reignite hope and create sustainable jobs. And I did about research of 18 months, research and development for 18 months around the sneaker, and retail, sneaker business and retail in the world. So if you look at, we've got 7 continents in the world. If you look at South America, they've got a brand called Ipanema and Havanians from Brazil. Then we've got Nike coming from the States, started by Phil Knight. And we also have Under Armour, started by Kevin Plank. And obviously, the popular one, Converse, started by a guy called Chuck Taylor in the States. And many other European shoe brands, Puma, Adidas, and many other Italian footwear brands. But when I came to Africa, I couldn't find one brand that can be benchmarked with those footwear brands. Benchmarked in terms of revenue, product development, and many others. That is why our vision says, we want to build a shoe brand that Africans can proudly affiliate with. Long story short, Then I start, after 18 months of research and development, I start with 100 pairs. Before I did the mesh edition 100 pairs, I was declined 13 times by the factory. Declining me, because I had a vision of building a shoe out of mesh material. And mesh material in footwear manufacturing is used as a component of a shoe, on top, on the side, at the back. So I had a vision of building the entire shoe with mesh material, because at the time there was a trend happening of happy socks or colorful socks, mainly dominated by a brand called Happy Socks. So I wanted to build a happy shoe. So when I pitched the idea to them, they're like, no, there's no way, because mesh is used as a component. Until I flew down to Durban and I met with the owner and convinced them to approve my concept. And then I got approved after 13 times, being declined. 100 pairs. Then we went on to launch the business with 400 pairs. Then we went on to launch after the 400 pairs. A week later, we went on to say 1,000 pairs. And then, we went on to 3,000 pairs. Now we do thousands and thousands and thousands of pairs a month. They can't afford to miss my call. The very same factory that declined me 5 years ago. Today when I call them, they can't afford to miss my call.